Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is so very special. We are gonna cover the newest collection from Ensley Cosmetics. It is their Wolf Moon and the Snow Moon collection. These are the two palettes. We also have singles from them. We have glosses from them. We have some beautiful, stunning Moondust from them. If you want to see all of it in action, then please keep on watching. Let me show you the collection. Let's start off with the Wolf Moon. This is how the palette looks. It is so pretty. I love the pops of the purpley tones with the berry tones. We also have some grays here, some interesting shimmers. We are gonna live swatch all of this for you guys, so stay tuned for that. But let me just show it to you. This is the Snow Moon palette. This has some pops of blues and pinks with a bit of like grays thrown in here and there, and it has some sparkly shimmers. Oh, so pretty. This is a sister palette to the Cold Moon palette, as you know. This whole collection is going to launch on December 26th. I don't know how the whole collection would retail for, but the palettes, each of the palettes would retail for $55. Both of the collections have 3 singles each. The singles are going to retail between $14 to $18. Then they both have the lip glosses with them. Both of them, I know it looks white, but one is more like gold leaning and the one is more like silvery pink leaning. Both of the glosses are going to retail for $13 each. And then we have Moondust. Again, each collection has 3 Moondust in their collection. It gets packed so very well, as you can see, like that. I'm not sure whether they're going to sell these Moondust individually or not, but the pack of 3 would retail for $45 for the Snow Moon Moondust and $40 for the Wolf Moon Moondust. If you want to buy the collection like bundles separately, so the Snow Moon bundle, that is the palette, the Moondust and the 3 singles and the lip glosses, all together would be $150. Same for the Wolf Moon collections, the Wolf Moon palette, the Moondust, the single shadows and the gloss, all together $150. They're both around like $165 value that you're getting for $150. Again, I do have a code with Ensley Cosmetics. I am an affiliate, and all of this was sent to me in PR. I thank Ensley from the bottom of my heart. They're like one of my favorite indie brands that I have in my collection, and I cherish them a lot. I cannot even thank them enough, but I do have a code with them. It's SMITHYSONY to save you 10% off. Now, once you've seen all the collection, let's move on to the live swatches with each of the palette, actually everything in this collection. So if you're ready, let's begin. Let's start off with swatching everything Wolf Moon first. So this is the packaging as you saw it. It comes with a sleeve. There you go. The exact same artwork here, and this is how the palette looks. Such a beautiful cool tone color story, you guys, with pops of like greens and mauves in it. Really love it. Let's start swatching, because I know a lot of people did ask me for like a swatch comparison as well as like live swatches, so we're gonna do that. I am gonna swatch everything Wolf Moon here and Snow Moon here. So let's start off. This hand is so so messed up. Okay, so we're gonna swatch Howling Wind and then Arctic Wolf. I'm gonna go like column wise, so let's do that. There you go. Pretty much I'm going to do like one swipe swatches just so that you can see it. The shade Arctic Wolf is like a white to a green to a gold shifting shade. I also see a bit of pink. I hope yeah, you can see that pinky purple. And can you see that green too? Oh, such a stunning shade. Beautiful. And the shade Howling Wind is like a taupe, like a taupey matte. It will just help me to blend everything together and just to give a little bit of like a taupey gradient to it. Basically like my transitioning shade, I would say. Let's move on to the next two. Next we have the shade Alpha Moon, which is definitely a multi-chrome. I see purple, green, silver, gold, and then Wild Rose, which is like a muted burgundy. There you go. Swatch it. Yeah, I definitely see green gold, but I know that there is purple to it. There you go. Yeah, you can see it. Can you see that purple to a green shift, green gold? That's so pretty. And that muted berry shade, that's also stunning. I like it. Like it. Okay. Next we have Arctic Mist and Majestic Moon. Arctic Mist is definitely like a sage green matte, a very lighter tone I would say. And what was this? Majestic Moon is definitely like a holochrome shade I would say. I see green, pink, like a very neutral shade. It'll be very apt for every day. It has like a very light base to it. Can you see that? Like a light peachy base. But it has like some beautiful holochrome sparkles running throughout it. Don't you worry, I'm gonna show you the entire palette swatched. Yesterday the whole day went in swatching these palettes. The next shade is Winter Howl, which is that marbled shade in the palette. I definitely see pink, red, blue, purple, everything together. I'm just gonna swirl everything around, and I know when I'm swirling it I see like a cool tone purple green. And then we have the shade Stealthy, I'm not sure about that, okay, but it is more of like a muted purpley gray shade. There you go. Let's watch it. Oh, I see purple so strongly here. This reminds me of Cat Mint shade from the Cold Moon palette. I'm not gonna swatch, but I'll show you against the Cold Moon palette. I can do a separate video just comparing the shades with the Cold Moon palette. If you want to see it, please do let me know. You see green, I see such a strong purple. I don't even know how to show you. It's such a strong purple to a green. I hope you see it. Let's move on. Frozen Tracks and Moonlit Prowl. Frozen Tracks is definitely a gray shade, I would say, a mid-tone gray. And Moonlit Prowl is definitely like a muted green to a purple, such a beautiful shade. Like a pinky purple, but such a neutral shade. This, if you are a neutral wearer and you were like, Smithy, I want interesting multichromes in my collection, and you don't want to buy like single multichromes, this palette is for you. Like I see blue in the viewfinder. When I look at it, I see that pinky purple to a green, but you see blue too. Such a stunning shade. Ooh, I'm so excited. Okay, the next two shades is Nightfall, which is that muted blue purple shade. And then we have the shade Wolf Den, which is the deepest shade of the palette. And I would say this is the only deep shade of the palette. And it is more like a brown black, I would say. It's a little bit more softly pressed. Okay, so let's watch that. Ooh, love that. There you go, so pretty. And that is the Wolf Moon palette swatched for you guys. Such a stunning cool tone palette, you guys. Such interesting shimmers. I love it. Love it. Oh, I cannot wait to create some beautiful looks out of this palette. But before that, let's swatch the Snow Moon palette. This is how the palette looks. Same art cover on the palette too. And this is the color story of the Snow Moon palette. It has blues, mauves, some beautiful again neutral shade, but this has more like blue leaning shades, I would say, and silvery tones. Let's begin swatching. The first shade is called Frosty Glow, which is like a very smooth white to a green flipping shade. And then we have the shade Moonlit Chill, which is a lighter gray shade. Let's swatch that. Yeah, this hand is so much more stronger. You'll get better swatches here. Can you see that? Such a smooth shimmer that is, the top one. No specks of like sparkle or anything, smooth multichrome. Very, very pretty. And that gray shade again will come in very handy for cool tone looks. The next shade is called Polar Petal, which is a very light peach shade. And then we have the shade Winter Halo, which again is a very smooth multi-chrome. I see white, gold, pink. Let's swatch it. Oh, can you see that? That is Polar Petal and Winter Halo. Such a smooth multi-chrome again. And that peachy shade again is a great blending out shade. Pretty much like my skin tone, but a little bit more peachy and light. Okay, let's move on to the next shade. The next shade is called Frozen Aura, which is like a blue holochrome shade, like a blue purple holochrome, I would say. And then we have Lunar Drift, which is, it's like a purple gray, but more deep. There you go. Look at that. Let's swatch it. Oh, that's so pretty. Yep. That's like my one and done shade. I really love that. And that holochrome is so, so pretty. Look at that. Very, very pretty. It definitely has a different vibe than the Wolf Moon palette for sure. Oh, look at that multi-chrome. I cannot keep my eyes off it. So pretty. Okay, the next shade is Lunar Rose, which is like a rose shade. I would say a mid-tone rose shade. And then we have the shade Snow Angel, and this is pretty much, it's not like a multi-chrome or a duochrome. It is like a sparkly shade, pretty much like the shades that you found in Light in Your Eyes palette. It's pretty much like that. Very, very impactful shade, I would say. So that is Lunar Rose. And this, oh my gosh, so pretty. And that shade is called Snow Angel. Look at the impact of that shadow. That is so stunning. Really, really pretty. Okay, let's move on. The next shade is called Winter's Breath and Shiver. Winter's Breath is another impactful shimmer shade. It is more of like a rose gold shade, I would say. Very, very impactful. And then Shiver is more of like that gray, brown, black kind of a situation, like a charcoal gray, I would say. Very, very deep. So let's do that. Oh, so pretty. That is so pretty. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Those two shades. Stunning. Stunning. Very, very beautiful. Now let's move on to the last two shades. The last two shades is Silent Night, which is like a deep navy blue. And then Midnight Echo, which is like, it's more of a Patia formula. It is a blue purple shade. Definitely a different shadow. More like a creamier texture. This one. Let's watch it. Ooh, that blue is stunning. Oh wow. There you go. Can you see that? Look at that palette. It actually reminds me a lot of that Adept Amy palette, but with like very different like impactful shimmers. I really, really love it. So pretty. When I swatched it is when it hit me. I don't have that Amy palette to compare, but let me show you the two palettes side by side. This is Wolf Moon and this is Snow Moon. Just so that you see everything and decide for yourself which one do you want, or you want both. Okay? Now, once you've seen all the swatches, now let's move on to the glosses. It's the same art cover on the glosses too, the glosses packaging too. This is the Snow Moon gloss. So pretty. The packaging is lovely. I do have another Ensley Rain gloss with me, which doesn't have shimmer particles. This is definitely a shimmery gloss, but it's not gritty at all. I was wearing it yesterday. It's more like a holochrome gloss because I see a lot of like sparkle running throughout it, but it is more gold leaning, if you can see that. Very, very pretty, I would say. It's like a clear gloss with gold and purple running throughout it. That's how it is. Now let's move on to the Wolf Moon gloss. Again, this also retails for $13. This also looks like a pretty white gloss. It is a clear gloss, but the iridescence is different. So Wolf Moon gloss. So this is a clear gloss, but the sparkle that are running throughout is more like a blue and pink. So it's more like a cool tone gloss, and the Snow Moon was a warm tone gloss. I hope you can see that difference. So that is Wolf Moon, and this is the Snow Moon gloss. Oh, so pretty, you guys, so pretty. I'm not wearing any gloss right now, but I'll definitely wear once we have the looks on. Okay, now once you've seen the glosses, let's move on to the single shadows that come along with these collection. Okay, let's start off with the Wolf Moon single shadows. These pressed single shadows will retail between $14 to $18, and both these collection have 3 single press shadows each. And if you know how much I love Ensley Rain singles. I definitely feel it's very, very underrated, at least in the Ensley Rain world, because Ensley Rain is very famous for their eyeshadow palettes, but I feel like their singles are equally beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna swatch everything on the palm so that you can see it. The first shade that we are gonna swatch is from the Wolf Moon series, and this is the shade called Howl. It's such a beautiful single shadow. I see specks of, it's a very neutral shadow, but I see green, silver, blue running throughout it. Very, very neutral shade. I can see myself wearing this shadow to office like every single day. So pretty. Again, this shade is Howl. It's like a perfect neutral shade. I don't even know how to explain it. It's so pretty. I definitely see like a neutral champagne shade, but with like pink, blue sparkle running throughout it. So pretty, you guys. Ugh, don't even know how to explain it. I'm so sorry. Okay, the next shade from the Wolf Moon series is the shade called Borealis. It's definitely like a green to a pink purple shifting shade. I hope you can see that. Very pretty. I actually swatched all of this yesterday. That's why you're not seeing it in prestige condition, but I'll swatch it for you guys again. I clearly see like a pink to a green shifting shade here. This is definitely for the neutral wearers who want to dip into color. Can you see that taupiness coming through? But look at that. Purple and green. Oh, look at that. So pretty. Such a unique shade. I can see that being a fan favorite easily. I'm not a big green person, but I see myself using that shade all the time. And the last single shade in the collection is the Wolf Moon shade, and this is definitely more silver leaning, but again it has a lot of sparkle, but this is the smoothest out of the lot. It's like a metallic shade, like a very shiny shade. So that is Wolf Moon. It's not shimmery as the other shade, but very, very shiny. There you go. That's Wolf Moon, the third shade. Very pretty. Now let's move on to the Snow Moon single shadows. The first shade that we're going to talk about is Lumi. Again, this is such a beautiful neutral everyday shadow. Let's swatch it. I see like a champagne shimmer shade. These single shadows remind me very much of the Cold Moon singles that they came out with. It's not like textural by any means, very smooth, but very, very sparkly. Again, this is definitely the Lumi shade, is like a champagne shade with like blue sparkles running throughout it. That fourth shade is the shade Lumi. Perfect for like a light eye everyday kind of look. Very pretty. Okay, the next shade is the shade called Snow Moon, and this is also like it's like a white sparkly shade. Very, very pretty. Let's swatch it and see. I actually see green also in it. like a white to a green, very smooth. Let's swatch it. Yeah, I do see green. It's like an iridescent duochrome. I actually do see pink too, like a green to a pink shifting shade. There you go. Very, very smooth. So pretty. And the last single shadow from the Cold Moon press singles is the shade called Winterberry, and this is like sparkly pink shade, but it's very muted but with like blue specks running all throughout it. So let's swatch that. Very, very pretty. This is another shade that I can see me wearing like every day. The wrong placement. Hopefully you can see it. Very pretty. And those are the singles from this collection. Top 3 are from the Wolf Moon and the bottom 3 are from the Snow Moon. Now let me quickly run through the Moondust too. I gasped when I saw that they're coming out with Moondust. You know how much I love their Moondust. They're so finely mint, they're so sparkly. I could not be more happy. And I will show you like swatches on the screen also. From the Wolf Moon series, I have Frozen Aura. I see gold, pink, green all running throughout it, and all of these are very, very wearable. I don't know how much you can see it. The second one is more purple leaning, I would say, like a purple, pink, green. And this is called Ice Crystal. Then we have the shade Arctic Fairy, which is again like a muted champagne with pink shift. Very, very pretty. These are so sparkly, so sparkly. And then from the Cold Moon series, we again have 3 Moondusts here. First we have the shade Snowdrop Fairy, which is like a white duochrome, but I think it does shift to like a gold and a pink. And then we have the shade Snow Angel, which is clearly like a iridescent green kind of a shifting Moondust. And last, certainly not the least, we have Snow Glow, which is such a vibrant glowy purple shade. It's like that UV kind of shade, but in a Moondust format. So pretty. That is the whole collection. I know I took such a long time just explaining and swatching these things. Now let's play with these shadows and put it on our eyes. Just because we are on a time crunch, I'm gonna do Wolf Moon on this eye and then Snow Moon on this eye. And of course, I'll do more looks in the future videos, but for now, I feel like that is best. Okay, so let's start off. I'm gonna take Arctic Mist in the inner third of the eyelid, in the crease, and then we'll go with Stealthy, and then we'll go with Wild Rose. So these 3 mattes. I'm gonna start off with Arctic Mist, which is that like a sagey green shade in the inner part of the crease, just right there. I am gonna dip into majority of the shades. I don't know how the look is gonna turn out, but I want to test out as many shades as I can for you guys, just to tell how the shades are performing. Then we are dipping into that Steely shade, which is that muted dusty purple, and that is gonna be the center of the crease, melting with that sagey green. Okay, yeah, I definitely see a difference there. I don't know how much you can see on the camera, that green. I'm sure you could see the purple, but that green also shows up nicely on my skin. Is it like green green? No, it's like a very light pale sagey green. Okay, now I'm just wiping off the brush on my Sigma switch and then going into Wild Rose, which is that mid-tone berry shade. There you go, like that, in the outer portion of the eye, just right there, just to tie in everything together. I do see a little bit of fallout from the shades, so do keep that in mind. It's definitely showing up very, very nicely on my skin. I'm gonna take that Wolf Den shade, the deepest shade. I'm also gonna tie up in the outer corner of the on the outer corner of the eye, but I'm gonna take it on the lower lash line too, and then I'm gonna melt it down with this gray shade, which is Frozen Tracks. So let's take that deep shade in the outer corner and then melt it with that Frozen Tracks shade, that gray. There you go. I'm going to take a very light blending brush with that shade Howling Wind, the first taupey shade in the palette. So then we'll use all the mattes in the palette. By the way, I love that these palettes have equal amount of shimmer and mattes. It's 6 mattes and 6 shimmers, and the shimmers are multi-chromes, duochromes, whatever. Okay, I am gonna take a smaller blending brush and pat that deeper shade Wolf Den on the outer corner. It's a very deep shade, but that will be perfect to give some depth in the eye, just like that. See, that so quickly, nicely gave the depth that I was looking for. I'm gonna take this marble shade Winter Howl, and then I'm gonna take the shade Alpha Moon, this one. Let's see how it rolls. This Winter Howl shade is definitely a pink to a purple, a green to a purple shifting shade. I'm gonna take that right there. I never use any kind of glitter glue on the eyelid with Ensley Rain Shadows. I feel like they never need it. And on my creasy eyelid, I feel like they just act perfectly without a glitter glue. Right there. Oh, look at that. So pretty. That's stunning. I'm gonna take a little bit of Nightfall shade, that blue purple shade, right in the outer corner, just to melt it down with that deeper shade, just right there. And I'm gonna just pat that with the brush, just so that the smoothness of the blend happens. And then for the inner part of the crease, I'm gonna take that Alpha Moon shade, which is that pink green kind of a shade. Yeah, on my eyelid that looks pink, and that purple to green looks green. But because both of them have that green aspect to it, I think it'll move smoothly on the eyelid. That's so pretty. I'm just melting all of those shadows together. Okay, now for the inner corner, I'm gonna take that shade Moonlit Prowl. No, for the inner corner, I'm gonna take this shade Arctic Wolf. This shade. It's like such a beautiful and a bright shade. I'm gonna take it on a brush, and I'm gonna just plop that right in. Oh my gosh, look at the shine. That's so pretty. I'm gonna just flick it right there. That's so pretty. Let me finish off this eye with some liner and mascara. And that's my look with the Wolf Moon palette. I really love how icy it is, how beautiful it is. It's a very like a cool tone color story, and specifically for winter season, I feel like this is gonna come in so handy. It's so airy and fresh and like fairy like. I really love it. Once you've seen this look, now let's move on to the Snow Moon palette. So pretty. Okay, now what are we gonna do? Oh my gosh, I definitely wanna take that blue into consideration. So I am going to start with that Silent Night shade, and I'm thinking I'll go to that rose shade, Lunar Rose shade. So let's do that. Let's start off with that Silent Night shade, which is that navy, and I'm going to take that in the outer corner of the eye. I'm going to first tap it to deposit the product, and then we can slowly start blending it with another shadow. It's such a beautiful blue. Really love it. For blending that blue, I am going to take this shade Moonlit Chill, this one. And this is more of like a gray blue shade, I would say. I'm going to just take it on the edges and light circular motion. Very pretty. Look at that. Blending into that gray and creating like a mid-tone blue. That's what I love about Ensley Rain Shadows. You mix two colors and you'll get more shades. It's so pretty. I feel like that blue and that gray shade together again alone will be such a beautiful look too. The way it's blending with each other, so stunning. Now I'm going to take that Lunar Rose shade, the pinky mauvey rose shade, and then I'm going to take that next to that blue in the crease. I love a good like pink and a blue statement together. So that is going to be our crease shade. Getting some fallout for sure, but also flicking it away very nicely. Okay. Just want to let you guys know. Okay, there you go. That's such a beautiful blend. I love it. Okay, now for the lower lash line, I'm going to take the shade Luna Drift. I'm going to take that in the inner portion of the lower lash line. And then I'm going to take the Shiver shade, this one, on the outer corner. And just melting it with that blue. For the shimmers, I know if I use any of these like shimmery shade, it's just gonna take over the look, because then I won't be able to use any other shade because it's so sparkly. So I want to use more shades, and I want to use that Winter Halo shade, the pinky shade in the inner part of the crease for sure. Okay, I'm going to start off with this shade, the Moonlit Echo shade, right next to that blue, just to melt things together. And this looks like that UV kind of a shade. At least on the eye, it's giving that glow. So pretty. It's like a pink to a purple. I'm just going to tap that blue in the outer corner just for a seamless blend. I didn't take anything extra, just whatever was on the brush. And then I'm going to take this shade Winter Halo, that pinky shade. I'm going to take that pink shade right there. Look how beautiful that rose shade mixes with that Lunar Rose that we applied on the crease. Just melting those shades together to create that pinky purple look. So pretty. And then for the inner corner, I'm going to take this Frosted Glow shade, this one. That's so bright. So bright it is, so cool. I'm going to take this Polar Petal shade on the lower lash line and just melt everything together. And now let me finish off this eye with some liner and mascara. And that's my look with the Snow Moon palette. I love the way how this eye turned out. It is so pretty, so fresh, but also with that blue, it gives such a cool twist to that palette. I really, really love it. Love the way how both of these eye look turned out. Let's move on to the lips. I am going to take the gloss from the Wolf Moon palette just because I feel like we need a little bit more like a pinky iridescent cool tone kind of an effect. So I'm going to take this lip gloss. It's definitely not over the top. It's so, so pretty and so icy. Let me show you my final look. I love, love, love this collection so very much. I cannot even tell you how beautiful this is. If you've not gotten anything from Ensley Rain before, I feel like these 10 pan eyeshadow palettes are such a gem in their collection, because you'll get the quality of the Ensley Rain palettes for sure. They do not compromise on the quality one bit, but you'll be able to get like a variety of shades and texture that they produce in a smaller format. Let me show you the comparison with the Cold Moon palette. Since it's a sister palette to the Cold Moon palette, I think it just makes sense to show the Cold Moon palette. So this is how the Cold Moon palette looks. Definitely these shades are so much well loved in my collection. Let me compare it to the Wolf Moon first. On the top we have the Wolf Moon, and then we have the Cold Moon compared to each other. And when I see side by side, like Arctic Mist and Winter Solstice, actually the Howling Wind and Winter Solstice might be similar. Catmint and Stealthy might be similar. Transformation and Frozen Tracks. I'll definitely do a comparison for you guys, but right now it's not the time, but you saw it like together how it looks. Now let me show you the Snow Moon palette next to the Cold Moon. You're definitely getting the essence of the Cold Moon, but in a smaller format. There you go. Let's see here. I would say Lunar Rose and Orithia maybe. Cold Moon and Chill, they're different for sure, I know, but worth comparing. That is it. I feel like the Wolf Moon is definitely a little bit more closer, if I say so myself. I'm sure it won't be like exact, but definitely a little bit more closer compared to the Cold Moon palette. But that's all, you guys. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I know I did not cover the whole collection, but I am definitely gonna do lots more videos in the new year. Right now I am wrapping up the year-end videos, and I definitely wanted to get this video out for you guys when the reveal happens. So that's all for today. If you did like my video, you know what to do. Do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Do let me know, are you gonna get anything from this collection or not? Again, I do have a code with them. It is SMITHYSONY to save you 10% off, and if you use my code, I thank you very, very much. It means the world to me. But that's all. I generally upload 3 videos every single week, Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays, but this week or like the last week of December, it is going to be all across the place. Okay, so just excuse me for that. Ring that notification bell so that you're aware whenever I post. But that's all for today. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.